I'll try this again. August 12th, IGN gave a ranking of all the MCU movies, which we're now calling Infinity Saga, and they did it from least to greatest. I prefer to do things in increments of 10. I'm not going to go through 23 movies. We'll start with special recognition, which will go out to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2. If you guys have been living under a rock, Guardians of the Galaxy movies are pretty good. They're really funny. They're very well done. Cinematography is amazing. James Gunn is an amazing director. Pretty good actor too, but we're not even gonna get into that. I guess one of the main reasons why I give special recognition to these films is because they took a group of basically unknown characters and were able to elevate them. Technically, Disney Marvel's been doing this the whole time. I mean, if we're going to be honest, aside from hardcore comic book fans, no one really paid attention to Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. I was always a big Thor fan myself, but that's beside the point. The biggest characters Marvel's had, especially in their comic books, Spider-Man and the X-Men. Well, when they started this whole thing, they had neither. And as the movie further went along, they decided, well, let's go into space. They brought this ragtag group. I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy books started in the middle to early 1960s. I want to say, was it 1960s or was it 1980s? I'm checking my notes. I apologize. I believe it was 1960s because there's a totally different group. You know, Jan doing the movies, he was actually part of that group. Then they rebooted the comic books, and made the Guardians of the Galaxy kind of the team we know right now. It's like the middle to late 2000s, but around 2012 when the MCU started kicking off, they rebooted again and brought the team that we know now. Star-Lord, Groot, Rocket Raccoon, Gamora, who were part of that original team to begin with, but the Guardians of the Galaxy has a huge roster, which does include Drax and Mantis. So, with that, let's go to my number 10, which is Spider-Man Far From Home. The epilogue of this 23-film saga of the Infinity Saga. It is ridiculous that this is the best Spider-Man movie within MCU. Actually, yes, it is better than Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Even though Miles Morales is my dude, favorite Spider-Man, after Superior Spider-Man, this is the best Spider-Man movie. It wraps up everything that happened in Endgame. Spoilers, if you haven't seen these movies, I don't know why you wouldn't have seen these movies already, but spoilers. It shows the aftermath of Tony dying, Peter having to deal with it, even Happy having to deal with it, just the world trying to move on. And just really good world building when it came to Sword and the scrolls and everything towards the end. One of the things that make me give this movie an absolute A+ is the visuals. We've always wanted Mysterio in a movie, and this did it amazingly. I really have no complaints, aside from a couple things here and there, but you know, with such a great film like this, it's really kind of no mystery why Marvel wanted to try to keep Spider-Man in the MCU. I mean, if I was on it, I would just keep taking those checks. Let's go to number 10, which is Captain America Civil War. So, may seem like I'm a tiny bit biased here because, this is where Spider-Man debuted, and this is actually one of the reasons why this is number 9 on the list. Another reason is they also introduced Black Panther. This movie made me actually care about Black Panther. It was an amazing adaptation for a fantastic storyline within the comics. I mean, if you don't know anything about Civil War, I highly suggest picking it up. But at the same time, quick synopsis, it's Iron Man versus Cap, just like in the movie, but it involved so many different heroes. It involved X-Men. Wolverine was a big factor in this. Namor was a big factor in this. Of course, Spider-Man was a huge factor in this. And they made do with what they had pretty well. The Russos basically cemented, we know how to make these movies. We know how to run Marvel. Place your faith in us. Also, that airport scene, one of the best scenes I've ever seen. It's like it pretty much, Captain America pretty much has the best sequels, which you'll find out. But this is the third movie in his sequels. He has the best sequels in all of these Marvel movies. So we're gonna go to my number 9, which is Spider-Man: Homecoming. Haha. I know we're seeing a pattern here, but remember, this is number 8. Spider-Man: Homecoming is the best starting Spider-Man movie ever. We aren't beat over the head with Uncle Ben dying. We aren't beat over the head with a great power goes great responsibility. We're not giving any of that. But we are giving Michael Keaton as the Vulture, which is fantastic. He did fantastic work. Of course, the guy was Batman. Probably one of the best things I can say about this movie is the visuals. They did a wonderful job making Peter feel like not just a fledgling superhero, but, you know, a teenager learning what it is to be a superhero. I mean, the best scene I can think of from this movie is when he was holding up that debris and he's just crying out, and he sees half of his face is him and half of his face is Spider-Man. He's just telling himself, come on, Spider-Man, you gotta do this. Gotta say, it was hard for me to put this 8, but the reason why I edged this out over Far From Home was because this started it, and this also cemented the Tony and Peter, I won't say storyline, but I will say storyline, and you probably know why. But I'll move on to number 7, which is Thor Ragnarok. Arguably, not to some, the best Thor movie in the complete series. Actually, the one reason why Chris Hemsworth has not quit being Thor is because of this movie. I enjoyed Dark World. That's just me. A lot of people didn't. But this is leaps and bounds ahead of the first movie and still has great visuals in it. There's so many nods and Easter eggs. We get like I don't want to say a wrap up to Hulk's arc, because I really don't think Hulk's arc is even done, even with all these movies. But we get cameos like Beta Ray Bill, the Two-Faced Beast. Pardon me, you even get to see War Hulk a little bit. The only issue I have is with Hela. I'm okay with her being a daughter of Thor. Daughter of Odin. But kind of wish she was the daughter of Loki. It would have kind of added more depth to Loki and kind of shown how old these guys are. Like these are beings that are revered as gods in this universe. They've been around for a long time. The movie was fun and action-packed. Love Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. Amazing. Eye patch Thor. Kind of wish he still had the eye patch. You know, the God of Hammers. Pretty awesome. I guess another reason I put this at 7 is because it leads right up into Avengers Infinity War. Like, you feel for the Asgardians because they do not catch a break in this movie. My number 6 is Avengers Infinity War. This, at the time, we had 30-something movies. 28-something movies that led up to this point. Now, while everyone wasn't together until Endgame, man, we start off losing Heimdall. We start off with Loki getting choked out. We start off with half of all Asgardians dead. Sets the tone. And then my boy Hulk getting completely wrecked by Thanos. just in this, and if you notice, a lot of times I'm picking these because of not just like lore and including of the source material, also the actual film, the battles, like the battle at Wakanda. Amazing when you see T'Challa and you see Steve running neck and neck, and then when Thor comes in with Rocket and Groot after getting the Stormbreaker, my goodness, it makes me really glad that they did not show that scene on TV until after the movie came out. Amazing. The battle on Titan with Doctor Strange doing all the hands and stuff, and Spider-Man catching folks left and right. You know, Iron Man had that badass nanotech armor, which it took so long. Folks, that's actually what Extremis is supposed to look like. It's not Extremis, it's Extremis. That's what it's supposed to look like. It's too bad Star-Lord messed up everything. Anyway, let's go to number 5. Generally, when people have top 10 lists or top 5 lists or whatever, you know, they really stick to things. Numbers 10 through 6 for me, you can interchange them at any point. Some things, if you like more, you put 1 at 10, you put 1 at 7, who knows, but this top 5 is a top 5 for a reason. My number 5 is Avengers Endgame. Wow. What an ending to a movie. What just a combination of everything. Even to, you can hear the song in the background. Hopefully you can hear me a little bit more than the song. You know, Portals, that scene where, you know, Thanos comes in and it's the big 3. You got, you know, Fat Thor. Love Fat Thor. I'm sorry, Sad Thor. And you got Cap, and you got Iron Man, and they're all taking on Thanos, and then, oh no, my shield's broken. But wait a minute, Cap finally gets that hammer, but they're still getting beat down. I mean, just that, while that was going on, they had to deal with the Thanos army trying to get the new gauntlet they made right after losing Natasha. Wow. But just this moment with Portals, just, you know, Cap on your 6 and everybody's just coming through. That's probably will be the best battle we've had in a long time, until I'm predicting probably around phase 6 or 7. They're probably going to bring most of these people back to life, and we're probably going to get an even bigger battle when they have to face something like a Galactus or something like that. But Portals, it's always Portals. This movie, unlike some of the other movies, this movie was very much worth the wait. And it just, you know, I love you 3000. What a great way to send off Iron Man. Would have preferred if he didn't die, but that's how you put a bookmark in that. For now, people aren't ever really dead, are they? At least not in the Marvel Universe. Number 4 is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This is one of the best, if not the best, comic book sequel ever to have been created. Like, damn, Russos. Damn, I think I know it was this movie that made Kevin Feige and all the CEOs go, these are the guys that we got. I mean, my goodness. Like, Ant-Man and Endgame kind of build themselves as heist movies. Winter Soldier started this whole comic book movie, but we're going to add something else into it. I mean, this was espionage, it was action, it was a thriller. You know, you never know who to trust because, you know, anyone can just lean in and just, Hell Hydra. You never know. Falcon, you know, becoming the roadie for Steve was, it was important. We needed to see Steve Rogers get some kind of, I don't want to say sidekick, because in the comics technically he was a sidekick in the early stages, but You see him get some kind of a friend and anchor here, where Tony, of course, Tony was his friend, but here we have a guy that's a little bit more down to earth. This movie has the best fight scene. This beats out the Wakanda battle and Portals, the elevator scene. Anybody want to get off before we do this? You cannot tell me that that is not the best fight scene, the best scene in any action movie, any comic book movie you've seen. Actually, we had people imitating it. I believe Community imitated it on one of their paintball episodes, I think in season 6. So, let's go to, let's see, number 3. Number 3, Black Panther. Black Panther is my number 3 because, personally, because again, it's a personal list, I didn't think this movie would affect me the way it did. You know, Civil War made me like T'Challa. This movie made me fall in love with him. Chadwick Boseman, wow, bro. Wow. Just, it builds itself. A lot of people getting angry because they were talking about, some people thought they were saying it was the first black movie. No, this is the first superhero movie that has a mostly black cast. And no one felt like they were playing the same character twice. No one seemed like they were playing the same character as someone else. Everything was unique and beautiful. Looking at Wakanda, you know, on the big screen was just far beyond anything I could have ever thought they would do. But what really brought me in and what kicked off having sympathetic villains was Eric Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan. Wow, there were so many times watching this movie where Michael B. Jordan would just have me hold my chin and make me think, man, this dude got a good point. You know, our people around the world are being hurt while we got all this technology. It's just like, man, he's not wrong. But at the same time, he crosses that line. I mean, I can't wait for this movie sequel. I don't know what they're gonna do. Makes me kind of anxious, but at the same time, I'm okay with waiting. Ryan Coogler, man, for this to be his second film after Creed, boy, can't wait to see what else he comes up with. Let's see, number 2, Iron Man, the beginning, what kicked off this whole entire thing. I mean, many people, including myself, I always thought that the movies would be the ultimate universe, which they kind of are, because, you know, in a comic book, the person dies, they can come back, you know, after the run of the comics, they can come back like in a year or two, or whenever people tend to remember who they are. Phoenix. Cyclops. But, you know, people tend to come back. Iron Man, just in this, people just die. Like Obadiah Stane, he bites the dust. And Robert Downey Jr., he was born to play Tony Stark. If you know a little bit about his past, look it up for yourself. I'm not going into it, but most of his scenes he improvised, like the Jericho missile scene where he holds his arms up and the smoke comes flying. He came up with that off the cuff. There's also movie also kind of showed Terrence Howard. Disney Marvel is not afraid to get rid of people. Do not think you are bigger than the mouse. Let me think. What else would I have to say? Outside of the Easter eggs, because man, if you pay attention to a lot of these first movies, they have tons of Easter eggs in them. I believe the fight with Obadiah in the street, there's the dragon poster from Fing Fang Foom, which was part of came straight out of the Iron Man comic book. It was the thing they were doing, I believe, for 2007 issue. Man, I cannot sing this movie's praises enough. I think the only thing I had a problem with is I didn't get to see Rhodey, but we get to see Iron Man 2. The reason Iron Man 2 is not on this list is because, while it's a favorite of mine, there are, 20, 30 other movies that kind of do a better job, but I can watch Iron Man 2 over and over again, which I have, which I need to buy a new Blu-ray. So, enough of my rambling. We're getting to 20 minutes. You guys have sat here 20 minutes, and if you have, thank you. I appreciate it. First video. My number one movie in the MCU is Marvel's The Avengers. Now, if you're about as old as I am, or even a little bit older, you remember a little movie called Spider-Man 3. It was a train wreck. I actually remember coming home from college on the weekend to watch it in a theater on an early, I think it was an early Saturday or early Tuesday I went to see it. And outside of Peter Parker's ridiculous dance scene, which is infamous now, and now we love hate it or hate love it, it had way too many heroes, it had way too many villains in it, there's way too many characters that anybody knew what to do with. That's what we thought. The Avengers proved you can have technically the big names were Sam Jackson, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Tom Hiddleston. Sure, you can count Scarlett Johansson and you can count Jeremy Renner. But this is like 8 or 9, including Kobe Smulders, just 8 or 9 characters. Now, obviously, the big ones, Tony, Steve, and Thor, and, Mark Ruffalo. They all got their time, and they get their time to shine, and it's amazing. You know who's important, but at the same time, you feel like you're going at a good pace with these movies. Like, this is the movie that put other companies on notice and on watch. It's DC rushed the Justice League movie. Actually, I'm gonna just show. Still haven't watched this crap. They rushed a Justice League movie just to catch up to this, and this was after Captain America, Incredible Hulk, Thor, Iron Man 1 and 2. That's 5. That's 5 films. Yeah, 5 films that led up to this point. Wow. Just wow. We get introduced to Mark Ruffalo. I didn't remember who he was. He wasn't 13 going on 30, but I didn't remember who he was. Best Hulk by far. Sorry, Edward Norton. Best Hulk. Best Bruce Banner. Just amazing. We get a better glimpse at Hawkeye, because remember, we see Hawkeye and Thor, and we get a interesting version of Natasha Romanoff. In my humble opinion, the best version of Black Widow / Natasha we get is from Winter Soldier. She doesn't seem incapable of doing anything on her own. Very confusing where they were going with this, because remember, I kind of thought she had a thing going on with Hawkeye, but that's, I digress. What a lot of people don't realize is that the original Avengers comic team, and their very first time they came together, of course, Hawkeye and Black Widow were part of the Team 2 or Team 3. They didn't join the team until like somewhere around the 70s. But, they had Ant-Man and Wasp, which there's a reason why Josh Whedon couldn't put them in here. But anyway, this is actually how they came together in the comic books. They came together fighting Loki after he mind controlled the Hulk and tried to make him rampage and fight Thor, which, didn't work out for him. Comics didn't work out for him in the movie with the Hulk smash. Excuse me. Can we compare it to Endgame and Civil War, where we see all these characters interact and further build upon their personalities and the world itself? In my opinion, no. We can't, but it showed us that you can have a hero, the love interest, villains. You can have all this stuff going on and still know what is happening. There was not a point in this movie where I was lost. I haven't heard anyone say they were lost throughout this movie. And, man, I feel like watching this movie right now. But, as I said, you know, any of my 10 through 6 can be interchanged. Actually, technically, my top 5 can be interchanged too, but I'm pretty hard set on this. I base these movies based on their plot, based on the source materials they use, based on the use of characters. You know, there are movies I like more than other people. I love Iron Man 2, I love Doctor Strange, I love Ant-Man and the Wasp. But that's because I'm a comic fan, and I love how these movies had that, and how these movies showed the characters, and how those movies had the characters portrayed and their actors and everything like that. That they go with my characters, my criteria of movies. But yeah, my nice ones are not the same nice ones everyone. I did take that into account. If Joss Whedon had not established this, and Joss Whedon is a comic book writer as well, guys, not just the guy that made Buffy. If this movie did not pay off, we would have not gotten amazing movies like Infinity War and Endgame. Without a doubt, Kevin Feige and company have done something so unique. I don't think people can actually copy this. But, you know, who knows? Maybe DC will get some more movies and we can talk about top 10 DC movies and not just our top 5 Batman movies. But thank you for hanging out with me. Haven't figured out a name for this yet, but I appreciate your time. You have a good one.